Hey guys, Jack here. First little introduction into the Making Defense Simple. Today we're going to talk about MEG versus MOD. They're two terms or jargon terms that defensive coaches and defensive coordinators will use in relation to coverage and that they'll expect you to kind of understand and know, and they might not go into too much detail as to what they are. So we'll start off with MEG. MEG stands for Man Everywhere He Goes. It's pretty self-explanatory in that respect, as you have that player manned up no matter what route they run. If we'll talk about a corner and a receiver, so you've got a corner back here and a number one. We're going to talk about locking that player up. Okay, so if one runs an in-break and route, a slant, a corner, you're going to follow man everywhere he goes. If you get a vertical release, you're going to bail and you're going to play deep. If you get something like a hitch, you're going to sit on the top of the hitch. If you get something out breaking, a deep, a quick out, deep out, corner, anything like that, you have that player man everywhere he goes. You may have some defined rules about MEG in your own schemes. However, most coaches you'll see will run MEG where there is no handoffs. You might get something based on alignment, but again, that'll be based on your scheme and kind of goes against the rules of MEG. So when we talk about MEG, it's everywhere he goes. In, deep, short, out, that player is yours in man coverage. MOD is where we get some different rules. So depending on what your coach says, MOD can stand for kind of two things. It's either man, outside and deep, or man on demand. And what that means is man coverage if the route demands it. Okay, so we'll talk about the two routes, the two rules that mean that you have him in man. So you've got anything outside and deep. So if you have a number one and they have a vertical release, you have them in man. If you have a number one and they have an outbreaking release, you have them in man. Pretty straightforward. Now, where we have the difference in rules is depending on what route they run, if it's short and or inside. So if you have a number one that runs a 3-yard slant inside, we'll talk about it as a corner again, you're going to bail to your deeper zone. In something like stump that Nick Saban ran at Bama, you're going to play your quarters coverage on that side. Okay, if the same rule applies, anything short, now you'll have a defined rule. Most of the time, coaches will refer to it as linebacker depth. I think that's a little bit ominous, so I like to give a true defined rule. So I say anything less than or up to 5 yards is where your MOD comes into play. So if you have a number one and they run say a 5-yard hitch, because that's our defining rule point, the cornerback here, you're going to bail. Now, when you bail to that zone, you need to let your apex defender know, who will be lined up, say here. So typically a 6x1. If you're in trips, you need to let your apex defender know you've not got this person now in man. So what we like to do is we give a smash call from the corner. So as he's in his drop, he'll say smash, 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 because he's seen that short breaking route, and because we teach our nickel to look at feel two and look at three. He's not got eyes over here, so he now knows that number one has threatened the flat, and he can come and break on this, where you go as a corner and play that deep quarter, looking to play kind of underneath kind of a corner route, because your free safety will fly over the top of it. So to summarize, MOD, man outside and deep or man on demand, in breaking short routes such as a hitch, a slant, an in, a drag, something like that from the person you're lined up and your rule is for, you will leave them. If they go anything outside or deep, then you're going to pick them up in man. It's a short whistle-stop tour on MEG versus MOD. Any questions, post them below, and we'll see you in the next one.